At the 2024 ITS America Conference and Expo, the intelligent transportation community meets in Phoenix, Arizona to discuss the latest innovation and research in intelligent transportation systems. The program explores a wide range of topics, from connected and automated vehicles to digital infrastructure, sustainability to AI innovations, and much more. And it's ITS TV right here to show you the safer, greener, smarter transportation of the future. Welcome to the Phoenix Convention Center and episode 2 of ITS TV 2024. Today, we're finding out more about the opportunities and risks of artificial intelligence in transportation. We hear about the risks and ethical consideration for AI use. We'll take a closer look at the Arizona Commerce Authority Institute of Automated Mobility, as well as telematics and their impact on driver safety. And finally, we meet some of the ITS future leaders and hear what the conference has to offer for students and young professionals. As you can see, we have an exciting program coming up, so stay tuned for our first interview. You're watching ITS TV. We are joined with Anne Flanagan of the Future of Privacy Forum. Hello, Anne.
Hello, Courtney. Great to be here.
Well, what are some of the areas of transportation that you expect AI to play a big role in?
Wow, that is a great question, because the reality is that AI can really affect any area of transportation right now, hopefully in a really positive way when it comes to driver safety, cybersecurity, ensuring that the supply chain is optimized, that innovation and research and development themselves are optimized. Really, the sky is the limit. Anywhere there's data, there's potentially the potential to use AI.
Now, you all deal with the ethics surrounding this technology. What are some of the risks that you see?
I think one of the biggest risks we see is to forget about people themselves and potentially the implication of technology development on people. So when it comes to transportation, for example, obviously we all need transportation in our daily lives, but how we use that transportation is really, really important. And I think when you throw AI in there, if it's not properly thought through, not properly tested as it is developed, and people are not thinking about potential harms at the end of that product development lifecycle, that's when we run into difficulties. I think one of the most important areas and one of those practical things people can do right now is really look at the data that's being inputted into the development of AI systems in transportation. That is a great place to start. There's obviously a lot of personal data in the equation, and really just minimizing and making sure that using privacy enhancing technologies to make sure that that data is really handled in a way that's not going to create privacy or other harms later down the line for folks.
Now, to that point, what are some of the ethical considerations that developers should have in mind?
Absolutely. So when it comes to the considerations for developers themselves, I think we can categorize AI use into the people who develop the AI and people who actually deploy the AI. So when you're developing the AI, you really want to make sure that as you're going through that development process, that there are various checkpoints. The National Institute for Standards and Technology has a risk management framework around the development of AI, and it really talks about tagging the data, mapping the data, making sure that there are internal governance processes in place to identify and mitigate harms ahead of time, including things like bias in data sets that can result in technology that's not being developed with everybody in mind, that's being developed in an inequitable manner, and can have harms for minorities, for example. On the other hand, you have the deployers of the technology, and that is folks that may not be AI developers themselves, but may procure a third-party solution. What do they need to know when they're engaging with their vendors? What checklists do they need to have in place for their employees when they're implementing that technology? And FPF released a generative AI checklist in that regard last year that really helps companies to think through that process.
Now, what advice would you give the transportation sector as this technology advances?
Transportation sector is in a really good place as this technology evolves, particularly because it's already a highly regulated industry, but has so much innovation and so much cutting edge thought in there. So I think the transportation sector is used to engaging with policymakers, used to engaging with the public sector, really being able to articulate the value and the harms and where the industry needs to move as a whole going forward to minimize and mitigate any risks that may emerge from the evolution and the implementation of AI in transportation. And at the same time, it's really important that they use their voice to highlight the benefits and highlight the opportunities, and to really work together in that dialogue to make sure that whatever policy solutions are developed are pragmatic and are really going to solve for any of the problems that are seen.
And very good talking with you.
Great to
Thank you
chat
so
with
much
you.
for the information.
Thank you so much, Courtney.
Arizona is globally recognized as a hub for innovation and emerging technology, and the Arizona Commerce Authority Institute of Automated Mobility supports its members to drive the research and development of automated mobility in Arizona and beyond. Let's take a closer look.
For self-driving cars, we're going to see some revolutionary progress. I feel I'm fortunate to be involved in this technological development, and I'm also fortunate to be here. This is the right place to develop this technology and make it commercially available and benefit the society.
The IAM is a consortium, a public-private partnership that part of this collaboration is really coming together in order to help prepare the state and the region and our communities around preparing for advanced mobility. Some of the things that we're seeing on the streets today, self-driving cars, what we're trying to work on today around connected vehicles as well. We lose 100 people a day in the United States, and the number's higher globally, for people that are injured or killed on the roadways. And every little bit that we can do to make those safer, you just can't help but be excited about that.
We're here with Ryan McMahon of CMT. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So tell us a little about the technologies that you all are developing for transportation.
We make technology that helps transportation planners, researchers, road safety individuals identify crashes before they happen. Most of the technology today is distributed through individuals that are engaged with insurance or mobility companies or safety programs where they individually opt in, totally voluntary, and tens of millions of people are using technology today to help them understand their own individual risk and get incentives for that behavior. What's happening at aggregate level, though, is we're able to understand and identify how all those individual risks really exhibit on the roads and infrastructure and how it impacts overall safety beyond just the individuals that are using the technology.
So what do you do with that data to make the roads safer?
Well, the first thing we do is publish extensive research. This is our 5th iteration of a road risk report. We go into incredible detail relative to the components that lead to crash risk. Those individual behaviors have changed over time, and there's a lot of time and effort that's spent in research planning, in traffic safety planning, investments overall that ultimately need to be directed to areas where they have a real impact. And what we're able to do is identify that risk before it happens, help individuals look at that from an aggregate basis, and then ultimately bring solutions that work. So really the key is moving to predictive models, to proactive efforts, and not just sitting back and waiting for a crash to happen to know whether or not an intervention or a system or an infrastructure system is working or not.
And how do you see this technology developing over the next 5-10 years, incorporating the use of AI?
Well, AI has been at the heart of CMT since we started the company over a decade ago. We were founded out of the Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Lab at MIT. 2 of our co-founders are professors there. We have some of the best minds in AI and mobility working at CMT to help really make the world's roads and drivers safer. And we're doing this by detecting events that lead to crashes, by understanding that, building predictive models, and then now ultimately providing a tremendous amount of data from a publication standpoint and analysis to really get a baseline understanding of what conditions cause crashes and help to remove that. Because last year, 40,000 people died in crashes that didn't need to, and multiples of that in serious injuries. This is preventable. We can 100% prevent it, but what we need is better understanding of what causes those crashes. We need data to help facilitate that. We need the right analysis, and then fundamentally we need to get it in the hands of people that can fundamentally help those on the road.
Well, thank you for the work you do, and thank you for this conversation. It's been great.
Thank you.
We're ITS TV, your daily news show featuring interviews and discussions on hot topics in intelligent transportation systems from this year's conference. You can catch us around the Convention Center in Phoenix, on the ITS website, social media, and YouTube, with new content available each day. Make sure you keep watching. At this year's conference, the next generation of ITS leaders get the opportunity to attend education sessions, training, and networking with ITS professionals that can offer career advice and mentorship. We're here at the University Hub to speak to some of these future leaders. Let's see how they're finding the conference so far.
I have met a lot of people and new technologies and improvement in our field. I'm actually very delighted to be here. It's going to be very useful, especially for our future, We're going to be the next professionals. So I expect to use this technology in my field when I actually go to work.
What is something that you've seen here at the conference that inspires you or makes you want to know more about it?
So it falls back to the kind of research we are into. So we are more of sensing part, like the perception side of research. So I'm really interested in like few of the products here, like the radar systems, 3D based radar systems, which is cool system, which is a replacement of LiDAR.
I saw a lot of new technology in terms of traffic simulation, where you can, generate different scenarios on the streets, and you get to see it in a virtual reality and see, the accuracy and how well it works. And yeah, I think it's very important that we push technology, and how we monitor traffic in real life.
The thing that actually caught my attention is the network and connectivity areas. They are actually doing a lot of research, active research, to have every connection possible, everything well connected, so that intersection can be synced, and the work that we do in the computer can actually be translated into the real world. That improvement is something that we usually don't think about it, because we take it for granted, but they are actually improving it here.
There is so much changing so fast right now in terms of, how cities or state DOTs implement technology, and I think it's very important, being here and this conference, such as the ITS, where you get to talk with experts, see their technology, see how they're implementing all of these new features, and help the traffic, be more efficient, safer, and everything else.
That's it for our second episode of ITS TV 2024. But we're back tomorrow, where we'll be learning about the upcoming ITS World Congress hosted in Atlanta next year. Before then, you can watch the show right here at the Convention Center and online. And don't forget to subscribe and follow ITS TV on social media. We'll see you tomorrow.